So, who makes the best breakfast? Is it Morrisons or is it Asda? Well, today I'm going to find out because I'm going to be having both breakfasts to see who's best. So let's start off first with Morrisons. So the Morrisons I decided to go to is located in the Kirkstall area of Leeds. It's one of the largest in the area and has a Morrisons cafe and market kitchen inside for food. So perfect place to go for breakfast. So let's head in and check it out. The cafe consists of a main counter area where you order your food from, and as you can see, you can also get cakes, pastries and sandwiches too. There's a lot of seating available and even some near the window so you can get a good view of the outside while you're eating. So a pretty good looking cafe. The menus are located on boards at various points around the cafe and there's quite a few options to choose from. You can even get afternoon tea. But we're not here for that today, we're here for the full breakfast. Plus a pot of tea on the side, but with a difference. You don't get fresh milk here, which is a bit of a shame as the ones in these little cartons don't taste as good. But it was a pretty decent tea nevertheless. So when the breakfast came out, I was shocked because I was surprised about how good it looked. I wasn't expecting this from a supermarket cafe, and this just made me more excited to try it. So with this breakfast you get a fried egg, but the yolk doesn't seem to be runny on this one, but I'll have to double check that later. You get 2 rashers of bacon that are quite thin cut I have to say, but they do still look pretty good. You get 2 big hash browns which I'm happy about as they're one of my favourite things. 2 good sized sausages, and they do look to be cooked really well here with the colour of them. You get a big single fried mushroom rather than small ones, half a roasted tomato, and a pot of baked beans. And they are Heinz here as it said it on the menu, so no need for guessing. Plus you get a separate pot on the side for your toast, and that comes with a little tub of butter. Let's start off with the sausage. I have to say these look really good. They're a good size and have a nice colour on them too. So looking forward to trying these. Let's go in for a bite. These were pretty tasty. You get a slight crisp and snap to the outside, and the inside is soft, meaty and quite juicy. So a great sausage and a good start to the breakfast. Let's move on next to the bacon. It's pretty thin cut here as I mentioned before, and I think it could do with being cooked or fried a bit more, as I like it when they've got golden brown fry marks on them. But it does have some good fat running through it, so let's just give it a try. It's a decent piece of bacon. I would say a little on the saltier side, but not too much. And you do get a meaty bite and flavour as well, so not bad. Now I have to test out the yolk on this egg next, as it doesn't look to be a runny one. And it's not. So maybe cooked for a tad too long, but it's still quite soft and not totally cooked all the way through, which would spoil it if it was. So next up, the Heinz baked beans. They're a good colour and consistency, and we know what we're in for here, so let's just go in for a taste. These are great beans. I don't think you can beat Heinz baked beans for me, and so these were great. Moving on to this giant mushroom, and well, I don't think there's any more to say here. It looks like a giant mushroom. Let's just go for it. The mushroom was soft and juicy. You got a bit of a meaty bite to it as well, so a good mushroom. So this is what I've been waiting for, the hash brown. You get 2 here and they're a decent size as well. They've got good colour to them and I can't wait to take a bite, so let's just do it. These were some great hash browns. The outside was crispy, you got a nice fried flavour to it. The inside was soft and not too dry. The only thing I would say here is it maybe needed a bit more of potato flavour, but apart from that, great. Now for the combo bite, and I've gone here with sausage, hash brown, tomato and egg, plus a nice dip into the baked beans. And let's take a bite of this. Delicious. I almost forgot the toast. Let's spread a bit of the butter on it and it's just regular toast here, not the fancy sourdough stuff, which I think I sometimes prefer, as the sourdough toast can be a bit too hard. But this wasn't, and it was great. I even dipped it into the beans and got a bite with lovely bean juice on it. What a great breakfast that was. I was actually surprised by how much you get for the price, but I suppose they are a supermarket. So the total cost of that meal was £7.28. Let's move on next to Asda. So the Asda I decided to go to is the one in the Killingbeck area of Leeds. And like the Morrisons, it's a really big one, and one that has the Asda cafe inside, so it should be a good place to go for a comparison. Let's head in. The cafe area is a little smaller than the Morrisons one, but you do still get a main counter area where you order from. The seating area is also a little smaller with fewer tables, and it doesn't seem to feel as cozy. But you can still sit near the window and have a good view of the outside while you eat, which is what I decided to do. The menus are also located on boards, and you get various options to choose from, including breakfast items, light bites, and a pretty interesting breakfast deal where you can get 6 items for £6. And although it looks pretty tempting, I'm not here for that. I'm here for the full breakfast, right at the top. Plus a cup of tea, which you get in a paper cup. I have a hunch they might also do some good coffee here too. But the tea was good enough for today. The breakfast came out looking, well, decent I suppose. But I think my expectations have been raised too high by how good the Morrisons one looked. But nevertheless, with this breakfast you get 2 eggs that I don't know how they've been cooked, maybe oven? Comment below if you know. 2 rashers of bacon that are hiding under the eggs, a portion of baked beans, not sure if they're Heinz or not, but we'll have to check later, a hash brown that actually looks pretty crispy on the outside, 2 sausages that do have some good colour on them, a slice of black pudding that's maybe on the drier side, and a roasted tomato. So no mushrooms or toast here, and there you have it, the Asda breakfast. Let's start off with one of the sausages. They've got good colour on them, as I mentioned. They're a little smaller than the Morrisons ones, but look pretty good. Let's go in for a taste. So the sausages are on the harder and drier side. The inside is not as moist, and the outside is a little tough. I'm guessing the meat content is not that high here, as their taste and texture is quite bready. Let's move on to the bacon and see how that is. It's a little bit more of a thick cut one here, and the fat running through it does look quite nice. Let's try this out. The bacon is pretty good. It's a similar salty meaty taste to the Morrisons one, but it's thicker cut here, so I think I might actually prefer the bacon here. Now for the egg. I doubt the yolk is gonna be runny here, but let's cut into it and see. And it's not. I think it might be cooked for a little longer than my liking. I usually like it a bit softer with a runny yolk on the inside. So probably not the best egg I've ever tasted. The tomato's got some charring on it. Let's leave that be. So on to the beans. It's got a nice thick consistency to the sauce, and the beans look pretty good too, so let's go in for a taste. They were not bad. I don't think they were Heinz from the taste. They were slightly lacking in flavour, so it could have done with a bit more of a richer tomato flavour. But okay. Next up, the hash brown. Now this looks like a good one to me. It might have slightly lost its crispiness being soaked in bean juice, but I still think this is going to be good. Let's try it out. The hash brown was good. It's a bit of a thicker one here, so you do get more of a potatoey taste, and it was still quite crispy on the outside. Is this why most places give you the beans separately, so things don't get soaked in bean juice? I think it probably is. Now for the black pudding. It does look on the drier side from first impressions, but from the inside it's not too bad. It's a bit of a love-hate item, black pudding, so let's see which side of the scale this one falls under. I think you might be able to tell from my reaction which side this one falls under. It's pretty tough and chewy, and there's not much flavour to it apart from salty. Let's quickly move on from this and go to the combo bite. And here I've got bacon, hash brown, tomato and egg. It's really interesting to see how different supermarkets approach breakfast, as they're both a similar price but very different in execution. But what is the final verdict? So that was an okay breakfast in there, probably not one of the best I've ever had. And the total cost of that meal was £7.75. So which was the better breakfast? Comment down below which one you preferred. I think for me there's a clear winner, and that's Morrisons. Okay, if you like breakfast, click on the thumbs up icon below and click on subscribe to come along for the next food journey, and I'll see you in the next one.